Hello and welcome to this watercolour demonstration. My name is Bill Lupton. I'm a professional member of the Society of All Artists, and today I'm going to just demonstrate how I paint people in action sometimes. Very quick and easy way of painting people. Well, I usually start with quite a pale colour just to get the shape right, and then I'll add strong colours later. Well, that's just about got the shape right, and now I'll start adding the colour, as you can see. Well, there's the boots and the shorts painted. I now need to just add the boxing gloves onto the end of the arms. Now I just add shadow underneath to make it look like he's standing on the ground rather than in thin air. Well, the first box was finished quite quickly. This one's a little bit more awkward because there are going to be two boxes in action in this one. I think you can see that that's probably going to be the punching arm, so there needs to be a head at the end of that arm. For now though, I'll put the legs in and the stance and just give this figure some balance. Well, that's the main structure in. There goes the head of the person receiving the blow. Again, I need to make sure I've got this person reaching out and got some balance in the body before I do anything else. Well, now I've got the main shapes in, I need to start adding a little bit more detail, some shadowing and some more colours. Well, just about finished, but I can't have them painting in bare feet, so time to add some boots and then some shadows underneath, and this one's finished. Well, change of sport now, over from boxing to tennis. And tennis players are quite interesting to paint because they get in some fantastic positions, as you'll see in this very first one. Well, this particular player's got quite thin legs, but that gets him around the court very fast, and he can reach very far. As you'll see, this tennis racket really does reach down to the floor. Well, we're just about finished this tennis player. The arms do look a little bit long, but it is just practice, and I still think it looks quite effective. I might have shortened his left arm a little bit, but in goes the detail, and we have a tennis player. Well, on to another tennis player, but this one obviously is a completely different stance, and it's good to practice. I would suggest you use the flip side of a piece of paper that you've already painted on, and maybe don't like the painting on one side, because on the flip side you can mark out a grid and paint as many little people like this as you like. It's great fun, as long as you keep the energy there and just keep painting, you'll create some wonderful shapes. Again, started another tennis player, again with a pale colour, and as you can see the arms look quite long at this stage, but this is going to be a female player. Well, I quite like the shape now, so I'll probably leave it at that, put a little bit of shadow underneath and add the tennis racket. Well, on to ice skaters now. Using the same technique, quite a pale colour, quite wet, and that allows me to spread the paint back around without dipping too often into the palette. Well, she looks quite strange at the moment, but when I add the ice skates and a few more details, it'll come together, I'm sure. But again, I'm not adding too much detail, I'm making sure these are fairly basic shapes just to create the impression. Well, it's almost finished, there's a bit of shadow, but I still feel I've not got enough movement in there, so if I just quickly with a credit card scrape across the surface in the right direction, it'll look like she's moving along. Well, the previous skater was a figure skater. This one's somewhat different. This is one who's looking to get as fast as he can. I think they call these speed skaters. It does look a bit odd at the moment, but we'll see what it comes out like, because again, it is all practice. Well, not totally happy with it, but it's okay. A bit of a hump back there, but it's good practice, as I say, and it still looks like a skater. So just get rid of that little bit of a hump in the back by making the head a bit bigger. Gives us a funny looking speed skater, but nonetheless, good practice. And again, just to finish off, a little bit of shadow on the ice so he doesn't look like he's floating in thin air. Now with the credit card, just run it through the wet paint just to create some movement. And from skaters to basketball players, let's see what we can create here. Again, exactly the same technique, very pale watery colour to give the main shape. Try and keep it as wet as possible, then I have to dip back in the palette less often. I must say I quite like the way the headband suddenly appeared. That's purely because I didn't paint the head completely together, and I quite like the look of that, so I'll leave that. I painted the ball first and then the long arm and then added the body. I think this gives you an opportunity to be more creative by deciding how the player's going to be holding the ball after you put the ball in place. And then to just add a little bit of shadow along the floor, and that's the first basketball player finished. Well, there's the ball going in first again. I don't know why, but sometimes it helps. What I'm doing then is creating an outstretched arm, and I'll put the body below, obviously, to emphasise that he's really reaching up for that ball. This is very different to the figures I've painted previously in that I'm just marking the outline of the shirt and shorts. So this is actually a white kit. We're just about there. I need to put some shadow underneath and a little bit more detail. But I'm probably going to add something to the kit as well because it looks a bit bland. So maybe a couple of marks in there to give the impression that there's some printing on there. Well, there's a little bit more detail on the kit, just some colour and some stripes, and that's the basketball player finished. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that demonstration. I have got some more videos on YouTube, so please take a look. You might find something interesting, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.